What your doctor doesn't have time to tell you after 60. Most doctor appointments last somewhere between 10 and 15 minutes. That's usually enough time to check your blood pressure, review your medications, look at your test results, and discuss any immediate concerns. But it often isn't enough time to explain the bigger picture of what's happening inside your body as you get older. And that's unfortunate because some of the most important things about healthy aging aren't hidden. They're simply things that rarely get explained in enough detail. Today, I'd like to share 5 of them, not because they're secrets, and not because your doctor doesn't know them, but because understanding these ideas can completely change the way you think about your health after 60. And stay with me until the end, because I've put together a simple one-page summary of everything we'll cover today. I'll show it on screen before we finish, so you can take a screenshot and save it for future reference. Let's begin with something many people assume is true, but often isn't. The first thing your doctor may not have time to fully explain is that not everything is aging. Now, aging is real. Our bodies change, recovery takes longer, muscle mass gradually declines, certain risks increase. Nobody is arguing with that. But here's where many people get misled. They start blaming every new symptom on age. They're tired all the time, it must be aging. They're waking up exhausted, it must be aging. Their memory isn't quite as sharp, it must be aging. Their legs feel weaker, it must be aging. Sometimes that's true, but surprisingly often it isn't. A vitamin deficiency can cause fatigue. Poor sleep can affect memory. Certain medications can reduce energy levels. Low physical activity can accelerate muscle loss. And some health conditions can develop so gradually that they feel like normal aging, when they're actually something else entirely. One of the most valuable questions you can ask yourself is this: is this really aging, or is there another explanation? Because those are not always the same thing. And asking that question can sometimes lead to solutions that people never knew existed. Which brings us to the second thing many people misunderstand. Normal doesn't always mean optimal. You may have heard this before. Your blood work comes back. Everything is normal. Your doctor isn't concerned. You leave feeling relieved. And that's usually good news. But here's the part that often goes unexplained. Normal ranges are designed to identify major problems. They're not always designed to identify the conditions associated with feeling your absolute best. Think about it this way. There's a difference between passing a test and getting a perfect score. Both may be considered acceptable, but they're not exactly the same. The same principle can apply to health. Two people may both fall within a normal range, yet one feels energetic, sleeps well, stays active, and recovers quickly. The other feels tired, sluggish, and struggles to maintain their health. This doesn't mean you should obsess over every laboratory value, far from it. But it does mean that health is bigger than a single test result. How you feel matters. Your physical function matters. Your strength matters. Your sleep matters. Your ability to enjoy daily life matters. And that's something numbers alone can't always capture. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Because one of the biggest predictors of healthy aging isn't something most people pay attention to at all. It's muscle. Not weight, not body mass index. Muscle. Many people spend decades focusing almost entirely on the number on the scale. They celebrate when it goes down. They worry when it goes up. But after 60, something becomes increasingly important: maintaining strength, because strength affects almost everything: your balance, your mobility, your independence. your ability to recover from illness, your ability to avoid falls, your ability to continue doing the things you enjoy. Researchers have repeatedly found that lower muscle mass and lower strength are associated with a greater risk of disability, hospitalization, and loss of independence later in life. That's one reason why many experts now encourage older adults to focus less on simply losing weight and more on preserving muscle. In fact, some people lose weight in ways that actually make them weaker, and that's rarely a good trade. The goal isn't simply to be lighter. The goal is to remain capable, to remain strong, to remain independent. And that brings us to something that surprises many people, because some of the most serious health problems don't begin with symptoms at all. The fourth thing your doctor may not have time to fully explain is that most serious health problems start quietly, very quietly. In fact, some of the most common conditions affecting older adults can develop for years before obvious symptoms appear. High blood pressure is a perfect example. Many people feel completely fine, no pain, no warning signs, nothing that seems out of the ordinary, yet damage may already be occurring inside blood vessels. The same can be true for prediabetes, bone loss, early kidney disease, even cardiovascular disease. This is one reason preventive care matters so much, not because doctors enjoy ordering tests, but because symptoms are often late arrivals to the party. By the time obvious symptoms appear, a condition may have been developing for years. That's why regular checkups remain important even when you feel healthy. And it's also why paying attention to risk factors can be just as important as paying attention to symptoms. Many people ask, if I feel fine, why should I worry? The answer is simple. Because some of the biggest health challenges don't announce themselves right away. They develop quietly, gradually, often without any discomfort at all. And understanding that can completely change the way you think about prevention. Now let's talk about the fifth thing, and in many ways, it may be the most important of all, because it influences almost everything we've discussed so far. Your daily habits matter far more than most people realize. This isn't the most exciting message. It isn't a miracle supplement. It isn't a breakthrough treatment. And it certainly isn't a shortcut. But it's true. When researchers study people who remain active, independent, and healthy well into their 70s, 80s, and beyond, they often find something surprising. Many aren't doing anything extraordinary. They're doing ordinary things consistently. They move their bodies regularly. They prioritize sleep. They maintain social connections. They eat reasonably well most of the time. They stay mentally engaged. They continue finding reasons to get up in the morning. Small habits, repeated thousands of times, over many years, and those small habits compound, much like interest in a savings account. A short walk may not seem important today. One healthy meal may not seem important today. One good night's sleep may not seem important today. But years later, the cumulative effect can be enormous. This is one of the most powerful lessons in healthy aging. The body responds to consistency, not perfection, consistency. And this brings us to something that ties all 5 of today's lessons together. None of these ideas are secrets. Most physicians understand them. Most researchers understand them. Most experts in healthy aging understand them. The challenge is that they're rarely explained together. One appointment focuses on blood pressure. Another focuses on cholesterol. Another focuses on a medication refill. Another focuses on a specific symptom. And while each conversation is important, it's easy to miss the bigger picture. When you step back and look at everything together, a different story begins to emerge. Not everything is aging. Normal doesn't always mean optimal. muscle matters more than most people realize. Serious health problems often begin silently, and daily habits shape your future more than any single decision ever could. Healthy aging isn't determined by one supplement, one medication, one laboratory test, or one doctor's visit. It's shaped by hundreds of small decisions repeated over many years. And that's actually good news, because it means there is often more within your control than you might think. So where should you start? Keep it simple. Stay physically active. Protect your muscle mass. Pay attention to changes in your body. Don't dismiss every symptom as aging. Keep up with preventive care. Prioritize sleep whenever possible, and focus on consistency rather than perfection. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to keep moving in the right direction. Before we finish, here's the one-page summary I promised. Take a screenshot now and save it for future reference. It includes the key points, practical recommendations, and the most important information we covered in today's video. If you found today's video helpful, make sure to subscribe to Lifespan Lab. We publish new videos every week covering healthy aging, nutrition, longevity, and the latest research that can help you stay healthier as you get older. And if you'd like to discover another important health insight, watch the next video on your screen now. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay proactive, and take care of your health.